Hello, and welcome to this pre-recorded event for the June 2015 examination for Unit B3 GCSE Further Additional Science, Biology. To help you get the most out of this feedback, you may want to have the following documents handy, as we will refer to them during the session. Here are the aims and objectives of today's session. You will receive feedback on national performance of candidates in Unit 3 of the June 2015 examination series, consider the variation of candidates' performance on different questions and possible reasons why, look at the examiner's report, address common issues. The next 3 slides will look at Question 5C of the Foundation Tier paper. This question gave the candidates some information about yogurt making, and they are asked to describe the stages, including the role of microorganisms. Candidates found this question difficult to access. This candidate has correctly described why pasteurization takes place, but then the response is too vague to score the higher marks. This answer provided no details on the process of yogurt making, and unfortunately refers to lactose being added, rather than lactobacillus. In this question, successful candidates knew the process of pasteurization, understood the role of lactic acid in clotting milk to form yogurt, were able to recall the role of the bacteria lactobacillus in the conversion of lactose to lactic acid. The next 4 slides are about Question 4B, Part 1 of the Higher Tier paper. This is a higher topic, which involves the understanding of the role of monoclonal antibodies in pregnancy testing. This candidate has answered well. They were able to accurately make reference to the attachment of the blue beads to the test strip, and that the hormone was found in the urine of the tester. This candidate has also given a response worthy of 3 marks, showing excellent understanding of the role of monoclonal antibodies in pregnancy testing. This candidate did less well, but was able to gain 1 mark for understanding that it was the hormone that stimulated the monoclonal antibodies to show colour. In this question, successful candidates generally understood that you urinate on the pregnancy test to activate the antibodies, were able to understand that the antibodies were bound to the blue beads, were able to recognize that it was the hormone, HCG, in the urine that indicated pregnancy. Look at this example of an answer to Question 5B on the Higher Tier paper. Using the mark scheme, decide what mark you think should be awarded and why. This is a point at which you can pause the video to look at the whole question on page 11 of the question paper and the mark scheme, and decide on the mark and why. This was a good response, and many candidates produced answers of this quality. Out of the 6 marking points available, This candidate's answer addressed enough to put them into marking band 2, so was awarded 4 marks. They did not give the detail required for level 3, including information about the permeability of the collecting duct that is essential for the higher marking band. Successful candidates were able to give the action of ADH, including where it is released from and where it acts. Were able to understand that high levels of ADH caused more water reabsorption. Could relate the action of ADH to the permeability of the collecting duct. This question is from the foundation tier paper and is a mathematical question finding a percentage. This candidate did well in this question, as they showed their working and calculated the correct answer. This candidate did not show their working and did not calculate the correct answer. They lost possible marks by not showing their working. Some candidates did better on this question, as they were able to calculate the percentage in various ways. But in all cases, they need to show their working. The next 4 slides show the candidate's response to the higher tier question 3C, which was worth 3 marks. This candidate did not give specific examples. Plants still produce carbon dioxide when they are burned as fuels, but this is somewhat offset by their ability to photosynthesize when growing, thus moving towards the possibility of carbon-neutral fuels. General statements about cost were insufficient for the marks. This candidate gave an answer worth 4 marks. They addressed both the advantages and disadvantages of biofuels and were specific in their response. Candidates can improve their responses by reading the questions carefully and making sure that they do not give vague advantages or disadvantages which are not qualified. Successful candidates thought the question through and gave a clear response relevant to the question asked, highlighting the important advantages and disadvantages. Look at this example of an answer to question 6C on the higher tier paper. Using the mark scheme, decide what mark you think should be awarded and why. Please ensure you look at the graph on page 14 of the question, as this is crucial to the response. This is a point at which you can pause the video to look at the whole question on pages 13 and 14 of the question paper, and the mark scheme, and decide on the mark and why. This candidate made several correct comments based on the graphical data recognizing the optimum temperature for yogurt formation and what was occurring at higher temperatures. This candidate achieved mark band 2 with 4 marks, but was unable to access mark band 3 as they did not explain why the pH was dropping due to the conversion of lactose into lactic acid. Across the paper, the candidates who lost marks often had gaps in their knowledge, were not reading the question carefully, giving responses that were related to the topic being tested, but not answering the question as set. Had difficulty in applying knowledge to new situations. Had difficulty in analyzing, interpreting, and evaluating data. Were not thinking through answers before writing. This slide gives you some websites to access statistics about examinations. This slide gives some information on the changes to GCE and GCSE examinations. Thank you.